welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are introducing the Snowy Backdrop stamp set, and I can't wait to show you the cool background and the great sentiments. So here I'm using my Misty tool to stamp out this great background builder. And you'll see here, I'm doing it in black so you can see it nice and bold, the cool dots and stars that this backdrop creates. So gorgeous. Now here is the all is calm, all is bright sentiment, the let it snow sentiment, and the peace and joy sentiment, which are all great for holiday cards. Now here I have a standard size card piece on my Misty tool here, and I'm going to be stamping this all around this background. So you can see you can stamp it either way depending on how you kind of want your backdrops to line up. So you can either turn it one way or the other. And then I'm just going to add a little bit to the top there to finish it off. And I just love how this piece looks. This background is just so cool. Now here I wanted to show you that if you stamp it in a different color other than white, it doesn't look like snow. It actually looks like cool confetti. So right here what I've done is stamp some mermaid ink. I'm going to lay the piece on top once again and now stamp it in some wild rose ink. And you'll see you get this really cool confetti look that I think would look really neat in the background of a shaker or as a cool background to a card. Now I'm going to use this stamp set in the traditional way and stamp it with some Versamark ink and add some white heat embossing powder on it, and then continue to cover this whole panel with the Versamark ink and then the white heat embossing powder. I'm adding it in steps so that I can see where I stamped because that Versamark is so clear. It was really hard for me to see, so adding the heat embossing powder in each step helped me know where to line up my stamp. And now I can use my heat tool to heat that up and have a really cool white embossed snowy background. I'm using some painter's tape to tape my piece down to just a basic plastic clipboard that I happen to have in the office here, and I'm going to lay a light wash of water down all over this, and I'm going to get ready now to use my new watercolors. I am no watercolor expert, that's for sure, but I'm trying to learn and kind of have fun with it. It's a totally new thing for me, so I had fun just adding and playing with these colors. So I'm just adding different colors of blue and then more water to kind of make it fade towards the top. Then now I'm going to switch to a medium blue and let it fade towards the top again. Just adding a little bit more color. And then I'm going to add a little bit more darkness to blend those two together. And then now I can put the medium on one more time. And then now I'm adding the light towards the top. So right now I'm going to go to my next lightest color and just fill in that top to make it a little bit darker. And then I'll use my heat tool to color this. And I love that this is a fun way to use this background stamp and get to practice a cool technique like watercolor. So now that I've got my piece all done, I'm going to use the stitch hillside borders to cut some hills. I wasn't quite sure how tall I wanted them or where I wanted them to go, so I just cut two big pieces, and then I layered those two on top of each other, and then decided how far down I wanted it to go on this card and laid that down. Now I'm going to take a stitched rectangle piece here and cut the whole thing, now that I know exactly where I want it to be framed. Now that bottom part was super thick because I had 2 layers of the white cardstock and watercolor cardstock, so I had to use an X-Acto knife to cut that down. Then I cut a dark blue piece the exact same size, and then now I'm using the next smallest rectangle to create a frame. So I can save that interior part for another card, but now I've got this cool little frame to really give this scene some pop there. So I'm going to lay that frame right on top, and then now I'm going to stamp Happy Holidays in some deep sea ink on a piece that's 4 1/4 wide. That way this card, even though the sentiment piece is going to hang off the edge, it's still going to fit in a standard size envelope. So now I'm cutting a slit down the middle and then lining up my point with the top of the slit with my scissors to create a flagged end. So I'll repeat that on the other side, just line that point up to the top of the slit and just cut, and now you get a perfect little flag border. And I'll add that on to my card with some foam tape. And now the card will still fit in a standard size envelope even though it's got a piece hanging off, which I think is a cool look. Now I'll add a deer from Toboggan Together, and I'll link to Toboggan Together above so you can see the coloring of that deer. I can add that piece onto a card base, and now my card is ready to go. This was super quick and easy, and you could definitely make a lot of these backgrounds all at once, which would be really cool. So this is Snowy Backdrops, and I love how you can create cool snowy scenes with it. It has 3 great sentiments. Then you can also use it to cover a whole standard size card, or you could use different colors to create more of a confetti look. So even though this was meant for the holidays, you can really use it all year round, which I just love. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!